Well, world of YouTube. Got ourselves there for sight here, and another story about Lizzy Borden and her good old Uncle John. As you see in the description, I guess he was around. Supposedly, I wanted to look this up to show this and look into it, and supposedly, yes, this article claims that he missed the TV movie series and anything else that was made on this ordeal from Lizzy Borden. That's pretty insane considering the backstory on this, that I have some articles, but I gotta get up a little ways here so the dog ain't friggin' barking at everything and everybody and neighboring dogs. But I guess the little backstory on this guy is very mind-blowing. And I had a comment from a woman named Jess. I highly appreciate that. And she looks like an older woman that does seem to have high interest in this story. And it's mind-blowing to know that this guy, even back in 76, did not get any role play in any of this story. And he was a suspect at first, but like I said in my last video, he had a strong alibi, and that for a case really is right. But in this article I'm going to show you, like I said, I gotta get this dog somewhere where I don't get interrupted. But yeah, it is mind-blowing that this guy was there. This guy actually slept in the bedroom where the stepmother was killed the night before the murders. So yeah, it's insane to think that this brother of the mother of the two, Lizzy and Ellen, was, not properly, well, I mean, I'm sure he was properly searched, but ended up not having no God damn it, get a brain fart. No actual involvement in this case. Because what I heard on the TV the other night, on the BuzzFeed, and that's where I got the information that this guy, existed. And then I looked up an article this morning about the one I'm just gonna read and go over with you. And I forgot to mention the other video, but I always save the best for last. And I like to do that. Because what's gonna mind blow you about this will change the course of this story severely. But like I say, he had a strong alibi that day. But you know what? It doesn't mean that this guy's trade did not equivalent into Lizzy's experience. Oh man. So what we have here, poor Uncle John Morse left out of the movie yet again. And I'm assuming that would be the movie that Christina Ricci did. Lizzy and Emma's real mother, his brother, went missing in both made-for-TV movies. He had been invited to spend the night before the murders in the guest room where Abby would be murdered the next morning. Now, whether or not he spent the night, I don't know, but Morse was an early suspect and was followed by an angry throng the night of the murders when he went to mail a letter. Now, this ain't in the, and mind you, this article and everything that was said on BuzzFeed is not in this article, not in their findings. So whoever the angry throg was with the night of the murders, and they said in the BuzzFeed, this guy went off with a doctor to a relative or a friend's house that was sick. Now they're saying he went to mail a letter. So there's two different stories on this guy on the day of the murder. But this next thing is gonna, and as you can see at the bottom, it said he owned a livestock. He was a butcher. A butcher. That means he's chopping up the beef, folks, with the hatchets. And he had a very detailed, ironclad alibi, but many still think he knew something about the murders. Whether or not he did them or because in the findings from the BuzzFeed Unsolved, they said that Lizzy's father and this guy were in business together. Lizzy's father was getting, and it don't say it in this, he once had a training as a butcher, which in the findings of the BuzzFeed, he was the butcher. He was part owner with Lizzy's father, and he was failing as a butcher in his, the farm or whatnot was not doing too well on profit. And obviously, Lizzy's father was gonna probably take his share out. And that would lead something to murderers, right? And what better way to keep your business and get money on another half of a business partner than to kill him? But as it said, and as they said in the BuzzFeeds, the two things that do identically match is that he had a strong alibi. So I don't think he would have killed, Mr. Borden, even though he was having a fallout supposedly with him. Because if he did, whether or not he went to mail the letter and had the post office see him, or if he was visiting with the doctor, yeah, them are two strong alibis right there. Because how can you commit a murder when you're out doing something? And nobody's seen him until noon. So I think it's highly doubtful, especially with Lizzy Borden hanging around the house like she was. But one thing I do know, and I'm making my own thoughts and theories on this, is that I'm for damn sure that this uncle could have taught Lizzy, even Emma, about the butchery business. Who knows, maybe they were gonna, maybe the mother at the time, if she was alive, or the father at the time wanted them to get in the business. Maybe do something. But of course, that being or something within the business, maybe run the books, maybe run the phone and orders, or run the cashier, whatever the case may be. And then Lizzy being obviously what they call her, in my eyes, a spoiled little brat, and her father taking on a new wife. You know, maybe she didn't want that type of life. Maybe she didn't want to work. Maybe she didn't want to be in the family uncle-owned business. And I think, right, her problem was she was hugely jealous of her father with a new mother. And she just went on about later on in life, of course, like it said, to, call her Mrs. Borden. But I'm going to back up on some things. Dang nabbit. Some stuff I screenshot that I forgot to show. Where is it? Oh man, where the hell did it go? Camera screenshot. Come on. Where the hell? My stuff go, sucker. Oh, I ain't screenshot, sorry. Literally on the camera. Dang nabbit. My phone's all screwed up. Hopefully this don't screw up. That's that other story I covered. Back this way. Here we are. So here is what the findings of from the BuzzFeed. And this is the courts talking to Lizzy Borden. Do you know of your father making of a will? No, sir, except I heard somebody say once that there was one several years ago. That is all I ever heard. Who did you hear say so? I think it was Mr. Morse. What? Morse. And John Vinicum Morse, uncle. And it shows John Morse, the butcher. And from 9 a.m. to 12, he is unaccounted for. And here's the family timeline. Emma, Lizzy at the bottom, Andrew, Abby, the stepmother. So yeah, there is a lot of stuff here that, right, is just failing livestock. Actually, this is Richard Little, not the rock singer, that supposedly did a cover over on this story. And the maid, you got maid, and there was, claims of her killing, but I don't believe it was her. And yeah, this is just insane for it to come up on the hand end that this guy literally, could have been the murderer, but I don't know. I like the 1976 movie, and I forgot the actress who played it, but she did a superb job. And I still think everybody that hasn't seen it should check it out. And like I say, it was never mentioned about this uncle, but when you got a strong alibi, there's nothing you can do about that person. You need to leave it alone, is right. And if he was seen rightfully out doing your errands, whether it be visiting, someone sick or mailing a letter, he's still going to be accounted for. And like I said, that maid, I don't know where they got that sleeping of the maid trying to go to sleep. I know in the movie she was upstairs cleaning the rooms, and so wasn't the stepmother doing cleaning or putting away clothes, whatever the case may be. They weren't going to, I don't know where that came from, but all this John Morse stuff, man, is really interesting. And to find out he was a butcher and running a business supposedly with Mr. Borden and having a fallout for whatever unknown reason, right? We'll never know whether or not they could dig up his bones for DNA testing, but there's nothing to be tested. And that axe, I don't know why they haven't put luminol on that shit yet. Because that would, I don't know. Just something. And to say if they would go to the house and put luminol around that. Maybe just to see something, if something else comes up. Something hidden, something, I don't know, something that just would be, I don't know how they would get this case back open to prove. But then again, that dress was burnt. And I go with the theory of she did everything stark naked. And that would make a pretty damn good example of how smart this woman was to not get caught. And that's why I do think they didn't put him in the movie, because, having a strong alibi, and, right, where in the hell would he have time to change clothes and stuff would be beyond me. Hang on, I gotta pause. So as I was saying, where would this guy have the time to change, to, unless he had clothes set up outside in a bag somewhere? That would just be ludicrous. And to have, Lizzy Borden in the house, doing her thing, someone coming in and right when they know somebody's gone to sleep. A killer, right? If they're coming in off the street like Lizzy Borden said, and they're not knowing the situation in the house, of say so, oh, I know he's asleep, unless he's peeking through the friggin' windows, and people didn't see that either. So that it's just nuts. You can go a bunch of ways and ideas, thoughts, theories on this one too, but nothing will come out clearer than an inside job. And then they were saying that, putting a dress on back in them days was tough. Well, what do you think putting a damn suit on is? And I'm sure this guy was wearing his suit also. Because back in them days, man, everybody wanted to look proper. Have that suit and tie. And do you think he'd really have that much time? He would have to go to another place to change up and do what he had to do in the time of, the scream from Lizzy. Ah! All that, man, is just, it's, and that's why this guy, I guess, definitely was not put into the storyline, because you have to think of that in perspective. That guy would not have time to get dressed properly, tie his shoes, these loafers and stuff made back in the day. Yeah, it was tough to put on types of clothes like that, especially suits, and get it all straight and tidy without messing up your hair. And, that's the reason why I think this guy also wasn't in. But to mention him now, to get everybody going on stupid ideas, it's just, ludicrous. Because there was only one motive in that house for what happened, and why. And the best motive is what Lizzy Borden did. And I believe she did it is right, because she was jealous of her new stepmother. And what better way to do something to somebody because of pure jealousy? And her father was known, right, to be a big asshole, especially to her lately in them last, days or last probably year of her life. Because he was cutting ties, he was cutting money, cutting funds. And right, if he would have said, go get a job with your uncle, at the butcher shop. I'm not doing that. That's right. That'd even give her a motive too to take him out. So I mean, it's very interesting to see this pop up, but I think it's just a waste of time because, I mean, if anything should have went down that courtroom, and even Lizzy Borden should have been asked, oh, where was your uncle? Or it should have been said something, but never was. So, in ways, the state of Massachusetts in that trial, they did it very poorly. Once again, poorly enhanced justice. Not doing the right, proper things. And if they knew about that dress of Lizzy Borden's, then they should have gotten there quicker to, catch that dress and, not let her, oh, geez, I burned it in that paint. Yeah. And that's what they did. They did a poor investigation. And to bring this guy up now would just be senseless to even think of any thoughts and theories on it. But until the next video, be safe, take care, and you'll be always stuck forever in history about the mystery of Lizzy Borden, who gave her mother 40 whacks, father 40 whacks. Once you seen what she had done. That's right. Gave her father 41, or gave her mother 40 whacks. Why did I screw that up? I've heard that so many times. Alrighty. Out.